very placeholder-ish. This is all LLM generated, so I'm just like, is this how I want it or not? The idea is nice, but well, I did already decided to use the sentence variant. Gonna describe it like this. It's a bit weird though to have to pass lang options and stuff. So even using it. All length. Hello, Toasty Codes. Yeah, it's going. No, yeah, well, I guess we need this to get the characters involved in this token. They would say, well, we already relaxed it. So I have to relax it. Why don't we have that information from the first time I relaxed this token? Yeah, well. No, I'm using clang library, LLVM. See the file name is here. It's part of the LLVM project. I was looking at why I'm needing to pass lang ops here. Well, that is then apparently needed to be able to call this thing here. Oh, cool. You invent your own language or compiler for a existing language. I find that the documentation of LLVM is lacking. It's pretty hard to find anything useful. I don't know what eBPF is, but it sounds hard. Writing a compiler it's a pretty big undertaking, I think. More so than writing a formatter. Okay, anyway, I'm going to go with this LLM generator class for now. And so I just have to create an input token. There is another one here that would be created from a preprocessor token. So I have to create a preprocessor token myself then. Apparently. Loads of shit. Kind in string name. Is that all? Yeah, the information about where the thing begins and ends is stored here. Yeah, source location and the role length. So we have to pass that as well then. Like literally everything. I'm afraid I have no time to look at other projects. But thanks. Input token. It's not even used yet. Nah, come on. I must be able to come up with a bit better description than a work in progress. What is it? I made something working and I got rid of a 3 cons cost, I think. Yeah, and source file. Doesn't fit anymore. Then I'm calling this new function here. Where is it? This one. The question is if I can create input token from it. So the input token, just whatever. Input token, try to create it here. The input token takes a clang token. Totally have that one. And the source manager. So I guess we have that here. And it takes a clang options. Well, I don't know what that is. The language options. And an expected file ID. Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not using any of these. That can't be right. So, are you saying that my length is wrong? It should be wrong then. Let's try to put another thing here in the middle. Yeah, that is, no, it's not wrong. Token is RET / new line URN. I have everything. Length in file is 8. Is that true? Yeah, this is 6 plus 2. So I already called that function then maybe. Oh, hello, unpronounceable name. I can't even can't even display it. Tip. I see this. Definition, expansion. Yeah, no. Okay, so the length was already correct. And we are passing that here, so let's just look at where I'm calling this function. Yeah, see, I'm already calling this. Measure token length was already called, which means clearly that I do not need to pass lang options or even have it or anything like that. I forgot which file I was working in. It was so the payload is just getting the clang token directly. And then the only other thing that is left is a raw length and the start, which I'm already having, I think. This thing is doing way too much. Let's delete everything. We're going to make it as simple as this one. Leom, what is it? Leom with an M. Never heard of that name before. Yeah, we're making a copy, right? Are we making a copy? We are making a copy. Pretty sure we're making a copy. Payload, what is payload? Payload is payload, which is a standard variant. Yeah, well, okay, let's use the same syntax. Standard mover temporary. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you construct a thing here as a parameter. Or in the standard variant, does it? Well, unless of course there's nothing to move. Which is probably the case. Yeah, no, I don't like it. It's just LLM shit. That's what it is. So this was LLM shit, and it just should have been like this. I mean, the other thing works in many cases, but only if you have something that is movable. Well, actually, we do have that, I think. PPToken contains a standard string. So, okay, it is movable. But you can still do it like this. I mean, come on, why not? unless you construct a thing in place, of course. Like at the moment you create this thing. So I have to admit, it is kind of preferred to not use const reference and then just move it. If it is movable, it's kind of depends on the caller. But yeah, I'm going to use const reference. I'm also going to use snake case everywhere because that's what I do. Yeah, it's going to be a C++ formatter. So indentation and breaking long lines, stuff like that. Too many comments here. I'm starting to dislike having used an LLM for it. I mean, am I even gaining time here? It just generates too much. Damn it. I almost lose this same amount of time by fixing up the code than by writing it from scratch, it feels. Yeah, let's just delete everything, man. Represents a contiguous segment of raw text from the source buffer corresponding to either a lexical token or a preprocessor construct. Okay, this is true. Stores the starting location and the raw character length in the source buffer, derived potentially from macro invocation locations. I don't even get that last part. Brief should be a single line. It's not really brief this. If at all possible. To have more than two more lines. Forget the brief. I'm not using Doctigen anyway. No. I just needed it. Hello, Matthias. Do I know you? Did you lose it again or something? Or you think I'm a bot? No. Well, I can give you an invite. It's public anyway. Invite people. Copy. Paste. Hidden. Use copy buffer. What? Button. Smart. Copied. Yeah, it doesn't work. What about paste? No, it just the only thing I can copy is this. What the hell? Disabled save mode. Damn it. Invite people. Copy. I know it's not a secret. Oh, you already found it before I pasted it again. Yes, only C++. I saw someone join and then it disappeared again. That's weird. Did that person join and then leave again? Yeah, let's continue. Input token. Yeah, I was going to delete everything because thinking about it and deleting it one character at a time is definitely slower. All those comments, the LLMs really love the comments. Ah, okay, that's why it disappeared then. Okay, why? Well, why is because I generated this with an LLM and I don't trust LLMs one bit, so it just takes a shitload of time to think about it. Way better to start completely clean and then fill it in when I need stuff, and then I know that it was written correctly. So we can still construct a thing. Okay, now we don't have accessors. I'll add them when I need them. Way easier. I'm gonna put the payload at the top maybe. Feels more logical. This means that this must be done first in the initializer list. Why I feel unhappy with something else. The name, yeah, I don't like the name. The name, which name? The raw length. I think I use length just. Why call it raw length? Isn't that just confusing? Or maybe I call it size. I don't know. Maybe I call it view. What pass out? What are you talking about? Let's just use view because I need to clean this thing up though. But in the end, it's gonna be view. No. Well, yeah, kind of, right? Let's clean it up right now because otherwise I get confused maybe. So it's not a variant, it's just a character const pointer. Okay, we don't have this. Nor this, nor this. Let's go use character const pointer. And then apparently I call it size. Teaches area, yeah, well, it has to be size. Now, I've done full-time C++ for decades, so not a graduate. Yeah, maybe I just should store the string view to begin with, right? Now we are at this point. It almost starts to look silly to use a class. Well, really, it's just wrap around the string view now. Yeah, if it remains exactly like this, why would you even use a view? Why would you use a custom class view? I mean, originally I did that because I was thinking about storing stuff in blocks for efficiency. But the LLVM project just demands that you read the whole file in memory. Bang. So that's apparently easier for them. And it is, of course. And then I don't need to do anything special. We can just... Maybe should just use string view. Get rid of the whole view thing. Okay, let's do that. So no more view. Put token, and then I wanted to replace this raw length thing with, well, however, we have a source location here. Oh, yeah, maybe. Well, that makes things slightly different. My view could start source location. Wait a minute. My view was starting a character cons pointer, yeah. And here we're passing a location. It was decided upon over days that I want to store a clang source location instead of a character cons pointer here. I'm still not sure about it, but okay. There is something like a source range. Maybe I should use that, but I don't think it helps me a lot. These clang source locations are so difficult to grasp. Let's have a look at it again. think this is the one. It's like nothing. It's an ID. It's just an ID. And then the ID can be looked up in the source manager. And then you get all kinds of shit. So if you want to go from the source location ID to the actual pointer in your buffer, you have to jump through all kinds of hoops, which is very annoying. You get a little bit more information than just a single pointer though. Like it could point to a token, well it does point to a token, and then you know where the token is spelled out and where it is expanded and where it comes from. And it could come from a different file, theoretically, in which case it clearly is not a pointer anymore because you need to know which buffer it was as well. So, yeah. Yeah, so it's just hard to decide if we want to store that ID and then have to do a loads of difficult things to get my pointer, or just store the pointer and be done with it. But if I store a source location for the start, then you and therefore choose the difficult path, apparently. That you mean I have to interface with the source manager now. Then might as well not store a raw length, but store a source range. I'm going to add these input tokens, however, to a compilation unit object. Yeah, translation. Same thing. Translation unit. Which has a single file ID. And a source file. I was reading this as a source manager, but it has a source file. And the source file has the pointer to the buffer. So this is really a single buffer, and therefore, I mean, if I add tokens to this thing, it better points into the buffer of that source file. Otherwise, I shouldn't be adding it. Therefore, in this case, we can work with simply with pointers. I don't really see a need to use, yeah, the source location things. I think I'm going to change my mind and turn this into a character const pointer instead of a silly ID. Maybe I change my mind back later, but well, it's just way more complicated to use source location, and I don't see a good reason for it just yet. And then use the word size for the raw length actually, because I used that before somewhere. No, you're not disturbing. Well, I'm trying to concentrate, of course, but the number of characters that this token uses in the input buffer, yep. Thus, now this has become a character const pointer. I might as well call it the view, and then might as well use the standard string view instead of my own view. And never so sure about that, you know. I mean, using a custom class is always way more flexible. Way more flexible. But in this case, it is very hard to think of a good reason. It's also not, this input token class is not really something that's going to be used all over the place. It's just a temporary connection between two parts. Kind of a little API thingy. And when I'm finished with it, it's done. So it's not like that in 2 weeks I'm likely to have to extend this with functionality. So let's assume that yeah, this is it, and we're just going to use a string view here. And then the size of a string view is, I think, 16 bytes. Sure. Is it worth it to pass it as a reference, or shall we just pass it by value? 16 bytes is, I think, a cache line. So cache line is even larger, so it's 64 bytes. That's a really small thing, right? Let's pass it by value. And I need a name for it. So this is the representation in characters that of that token, or rather where it is in the input buffer. I need a really good name for it. Man, making up variable names is very hard. Very hard. I'm using like everything here. It is about the pointer itself, where the thing is. And it's also the raw string. So for formatting purposes, that is important. It is how it appears in the source file, and well, we might add a new line in front of it or stuff like that, but I think I want the word input into it because it comes from the input. And I could call it a string, but maybe that's too vague because it's already string view. Sequence maybe, input sequence. Kind of like that. Input character sequence. Input characters. Input characters. Is that not? Input cars. Okay, someone gave me an. I always click the wrong button on that. I got a pop-up about Reddit, but then I left click it and it's gone. Should have right clicked it or middle clicked it. Then it opens it. I still think that sequence is a nice thing as well, actually. I'm going to use sequence. Just, I don't know, purely feeling. If I knew how to write it though. Input sequence, there we are. And then, of course, use the other word in the comments. I mean, if you write here sequence again, this might as well not add a comment. But I end up thinking, what is better, sequence or characters? And I just can't decide, and I pick one, then in the comment I write the other word. Then at least the comment actually adds something. Start location, the length of the input characters in the input buffer. But here we don't do that. This must be the same thing. I'm gonna just click on this just to see. Yeah, middle mouse button clicking worked, but it opened on a different monitor. So it was about someone asking. I don't know what it was about actually. Yeah, I think the effect of AI is on newbies. Okay, I'll move it over anyway. So they agree. Oh, it's the op even that agrees. Well, where does this come from? Nobody knows. Oh, from here. You have to scroll up, Carlo. Oh. See full discussion. Okay, so my answer was, do you guys think that LLMs are the bad tool to use while learning how to code? And my answer was yes. I think that the result of AI is going to be that nobody will learn how to code anymore. While LLMs struggle to come up with pieces of code that they basically saw before over and over, capable of changing minor things like formatting variables and class names, or even combining patterns. The problem is this: learning is hard work, often not pleasant. It requires loads of time, effort, and feeling exhausted. Especially the last thing. You must feel exhausted or you don't learn anything. All while feeling a lot of frustration. If young people feel they can avoid it, I mean, the whole generation, the young generation, I see that all around me, they try to avoid feeling exhausted, feeling tired. They don't like to work at all. Well, that's what I see anyway, often. And it's not a good thing. So then, yeah. If then you add AI in the mix, I think if I have to guess, then it has to do with the internet and mobiles and social media. There is so much information going on because of internet and social media. You're continuously bombarded with gigabytes of text that everyone was kind of forced to summarize it, make it shorter and shorter and shorter and less and less and less, and spend less and less time on each message. And now you can see them. You can see certain people just spend an hour every day scrolling through thousands of messages, and the only thing that they have time for is looking at pictures and clicking like or not. I mean, there's no more time. Otherwise, you will never process the thousands of messages that you get. So my advice is delete that app. Don't use social media. It's an incredible waste of your time to read messages of 3 words and then click like or not, or look at a picture. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But okay, that reason is that now the younger generation, they can only concentrate for 10 seconds on something. Instead of, you see what I do. Sometimes I am streaming and I just concentrate 5 hours on a row, no problem. I'm getting older, so now it's less than it used to be. I get sleepy and stuff. But it's very good. Yeah, unpronounceable name, or I'll call you, Liam was it, yeah. Says, I'm not on any social media. That is good for you, man. Yeah, I am. I'm on YouTube, but I'm not reading stuff. I'm just doing stuff. I am on Reddit, and that's about it, I think. Anyway, you just need many hours for yourself without social media per day. Of course, you can do social media an hour a day, but not so much that you don't have time for some serious learning and stuff. Okay, this has been long enough up. Yeah, I can't guide you. The problem, there are better places to seek guidance, I'm afraid. Well, I can answer the question if you have a question, you know, one. But guide sounds like a mentor, and then that is gonna take a lot of my time again. So if you have a lot of questions about C++, I would point you to Discord, which is, I mean, the kind of social media that I was talking about is the dumb kind, right? I mean, the social media that's like TikTok is about nothing. It's just empty stuff. Of course, you can use Discord and go to a C++ related server, and then after you worked on a problem for several hours and you just can't figure it out, and then you can put your question there and someone will answer it. And then you make good use of the internet. That the internet is not all bad. Let me guide you by example. So I'm just going to work, and then you see how it is done. Input token. Okay. And now I have a way shorter class that can be constructed from a clang token or a PP token. Yay. Why don't I no longer have a kind? Do I need a kind? Can I not just ask the variant what it is? It might be handy to know what it is without asking the standard variant. But it feels like double. Yeah, I don't know. It's an LLM enum again. So let's not do that. Even shorter. Okay, now currently the only thing I'm generating are these things. And then we want to create an input token. And of course I have this, but now I need to create a string view. Let's see if we can do that. Make CW format compile. I was going to get rid of this whole view thing. I have a string. Do you need to include both string view separately? So view becomes string view. Then I have to fix probably those the implementations of those things, well, at the very least I have to replace view and string view, and it's constructed like a pointer and a size. So yeah, okay, already works. And the other one was this one. Yeah, I should delete that as well then. Git remove the views the execs, and I don't need to compile that anymore. What? I just deleted it. It's also there in another place. No, it's not in another place. It was there. It was there twice. I could not have thought of that. Yeah. Unknown type name view. Token. Yeah, I was creating the thing here. This is now just returning a standard string view, and then we don't need a realize either. I can just print it. What the hell is this? That's like really weird. This is, I think, where I am supposed to get my headers from. AKA where I used to install it. Why would it suddenly no longer be there? Oh, I didn't not install it there. I installed it in another version maybe. Should have been 19 though. 18? Do we go from 18 to 19? Include. Nope. Yeah, well, no way that I went from 16 to 19 recently. Confusing. Or maybe I installed it under a different compiler. So currently I have which compiler? CXX. We have clang. Yeah, that is 14. Should separate the things. Suppose maybe LDTR. No. Without a D. That one, I suppose. Also not. Unbelievable. It is not installed anywhere. Very confused. So install prefix is a function of the current compiler that I'm using. And at the moment I added this, I had my headers installed at that point. And then later I wanted to know where the source files are too, so I added this, which is directory where the whole source tree is installed. And that only adds .cpp files for both. So we can't find these headers because they're no longer installed here, then we don't have headers, which is annoying like hell. Now I understand that suddenly the install prefix changed because maybe I did. No, it can't have changed here. What the hell is this? It's installed here. Oh, oh, now I'm getting it. I did install it, but I installed it here. And now later on, this alias is no longer working because someone overrode install prefix with a different value. We are getting to the problem. Yeah, that happens if that happens in I think sourcing installed compiler. No, running configured in. That here, which there. Yeah, this can't really work then. I should not set install prefix here, because it will be overridden. So it's still being used somewhere. I don't think this is being used. This is for the SL viewer. It's not clear where it came from. I want to avoid that I use install prefix anywhere. So it is being used here, but that only happens apparently if the Maison configure options are set. But still. So this overrides it, and then we're using it. That's no good. Yeah, install prefix has the meaning that it has, so I guess I have to change set env.compile to not override it. That would be the best thing. Here it is changed, that is set compile env. Guess that should work. Now it's empty. Yeah, I suppose I have to configure. A resource is not configuring. Completely recompiled the libcwd. Something they changed. Something changed. Okay, now this works. How did I end up in build? Ugh. Because I press Ctrl C here. Yeah, well, I'm not going to change that. Oh, no, I want to go to my project. So. You gotta be kidding me. It's just calling S, so S is not working. Penalty. That runs off. Empty. This whole thing is no longer needed then. Or is it? Well, I have to do this, but only once, because the install prefix is never changing. Still an LLVM here. I have to override it though. Well, I could make it empty, but I might as well put everything in here. I think this should work then. Definitely something changed with respect to the debugging library. I did install a new one. And now it can't find this header here. It's just compiling without debugging. Man, what is going on? How the hell is it non-trivial? Is it only non-trivial because it has a constructor? I think so. What the hell is happening? I'm using 100% CPU. I mean, all cores. What is it compiling? The ridiculousness of this. Impossible. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Okay. Anyways, it compiled with debugging again. Strange things did happen. Expansion line. This can't be right. It's way too expensive to calculate the line number. Mm-hmm. I think they added these dashes here just to be able to detect that it was generated by an AI. I don't see a reason. Yeah. Oops. So what is the thing called? The single quote here, is that not that it is an is then? Possessive or tokens is of course yeah, plural. The token is, that's how it looks like. Why is it talking about expansion location here? Is the current location the expansion location? Maybe. You see here, there's there is no apostrophe here, or whatever the thing is called. And but in tokens, the AI did add it. That's weird. I mean, it's supposed to be good at language, so I'm totally confused here. Oops, what did I do? This is not good. I changed this file and I lost my change. I think that was the only change though. Can I back out here or then exclamation mark? No, it's back. Okay. Excusez-moi. Current location is what? Gap length. Not decided about that yet. An offset is an unsigned in apparently. Unsigned gap length. No, might as well make it neat. I don't like to use just unsigned, as you can see. So token length is the size for some reason. Yeah, maybe I should use size then as well with a gap length. It's kind of upside down. Because gap length is probably going to be less than the offset. So now I'm using size type for differences between offsets and unsigned int for offset, which kind of comes from LLVM, so it can't be that large, can't be larger. But then it's more or less nonsense to use size type, of course, for the difference between two unsigned ints. Maybe you should give it a custom type. Probably should. Anyway, size type it is at the moment. Shall I just change it right away? then I have to come up with a name. Offset div type. Translation unit. Add input token stuff, which now takes care of the last offsets. And then we have to move all of this as well. Finally, we have something that looks short. Select the next token. If that's end of file, stop. Get current location from that token. Print it out with error. If it is outside our current file, continue. And then we do current offset. Get the current offset from the current location. Yeah, okay. Token length. Just have to do it, and then we pass everything to add input token. Okay, recovery. Yeah, sorry, but just have to assert here, I think. Does that ever happen? input token. No, wait a minute. I need a string view. This is unbelievable. What the hell changed? What is it doing now? Like, no way. It's compiling something. That's it. I don't know. But what? This is 1R. It is 1R. Where's the forest anyway? Forest. Copy. Where's my clang? Clang is running where? I don't see you, clang. Clang is still running. Well, there is one clang running. Go there. So after a long time, it is running. This one? No, this one. It's the one at the end. Simply the compilation of CW format.cxx suddenly takes a minute. No, it looks okay. So I don't know. It's probably LLVM. And I did not suffer from this before. Oh, wait a minute. Now I see it. It's using the compiled clang. We don't want that. No. The thing is, this compiler is compiled without optimization. That's why it takes so long. Took me like 2 minutes before I saw that. Strange. Problem solved. Well, not solved, but found. And solved in my head. I just have to edit this here. Totally do not want to add this to the path. In fact, I don't want to link against it at all. I just want to use it here for the source files. I don't. Wait a minute. Do I want to? Well, actually, I do want to link with it. And then use it while running it. Find it. Yeah, not using the path. I think that's it. Much better. That's why I did recompile everything. The compiler was changed. Compiler itself. Now Copilot is turned on again. Do I have these typical stream operators header already? Probably not. Nope. Source location. Yeah, we can't do this. What? Get manager? Is that a new thing? I think it made it up. Path diagnostics, source location. Full source location. That is probably only going to work for the full source location then. It suggests the same code as I already have. That's why I turned it off, I guess. I would call it just source location actually, but it should not kind of work. Bull. Man, the thing is only confusing me. Stop it. Yeah, the thing is super small, isn't it? Source location is like nothing. like just this, so 4 bytes. That's why I do it by copy. Hmm. I did not need that accessory yet. Let's add a thing here anyway. Translation unit. Add input token. Blah, 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 this thing, yeah. Okay, that's const. I'm gonna make this thing const. Don't have a line and a call either. Yeah. Really? Oh, wait a minute. Process any remaining gap. Why am I getting bigger here? Oh, oh. Hmm. wait a minute. That is already included. And should be included anyway. Yeah, maybe builds. Into file. Range relation unit. End of file. What? Yeah, well, okay. I guess I don't have to do this again, but let's do it anyway. Excusez-moi. Oh, input token has it. Okay, then not. I don't see a file ID anymore there. Or not. Yeah, that was a refactor. I have to go because the sun is. It's already 5 a.m. I should go for a walk like 1 a.m. I mean, when the sun is really shining. So I'll be back later.